Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Jump Up Supercast Game Club. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. And joining me today, I have Ills.
I don't care that it's not from this game, but I have to say it. Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
It kinda is. And also, Noah.
He doesn't say Hydra Storm either. It's disappointing.
Yeah, he's a lot lamer in this game than he is in others.
Yeah.
Wow, shooting hard.
I mean,
Right
he's
off the
still
bat.
great. Richter's great, but he's a lot better in everything else. Like, he can actually run in every other game.
Yeah, like Super fucking Smash Brothers, even.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played Castlevania, Rondo of Blood. That is the game that Noah picked for us to play this time around.
I did.
And we played it on... So, I want to get into all the different ways to play this game, because it is very... it's a very interesting game in general, just to talk about it, how it was released, and how you can play it now. So, Castlevania Rondo of Blood was released originally in 1993, October 29th, 1993, on the PC Engine CD, also known as the TurboGrafx 16 North America, and only came out in Japan. So, you know, for a while, the only way to really play this game was, of course, an import. But it was eventually... Now, it gets weird, because this game was remade, not once, but twice. And it's... The original remake is known as Castlevania Dracula X. And that was...
It's just called Dracula X.
Yeah. Dracula X.
Yeah, Dracula X. And that was released on the Super Nintendo and did come out in North America. But it's a very weird remake.
It's very different, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's very, very different game. Although it is a remake, it's basically not. It's really its own game.
Yeah.
And it was also remade, again, as Castlevania The Dracula X Chronicles on the PSP, which also came out in North America. But, again, this was a built from the ground up remake, which was a lot worse.
Yeah, they went from 2D sprites and animation stuff to full 3D models in the 2D plane, which... Yeah, it was bad.
It's hideous. It's fucking hideous. It's so ugly.
Yeah.
Don't play that version. I mean, if you have nothing else to play, god damn it, play that. But you can unlock the real version in that version, so at least do that.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's actually how we played it, me and Noah at least, and you had already played this game, Els.
Yeah, I bought it on the
right?
on the Wii Virtual Console.
Wii Virtual Console,
Yeah.
and the version on the Wii Virtual Console is the TurboGrafx or this PC Engine version, right?
Yes, it's not even translated though.
Well, still a better way to play it than the other options, because it's the original way, which is arguably the best version of the game.
Yeah, and the emulation in the PSP one is not super good.
No, it's definitely not. And unfortunately, though, if we were to recommend you to play it today, it's like, oh, well, maybe that's the best version. Well, I mean, the Wii Virtual Console is shut down now. So unless you already have it downloaded or know somebody that does, you're kind of shit out of luck on that end.
Well, no, they re-released it for PS4. It's,
right, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Castlevania Requiem, and it has it's like $20. It has that Virtual Console version that you can play.
No. It has the PSP version.
Oh, it has the PSP version. Okay.
The one you unlock in the PSP version.
Oh, very odd.
Yeah. Because it has the different translation and everything. That's
okay. And so you can play that, and that comes with Symphony of the Night as well.
Yeah. Which also has the PSP translation, which doesn't have the dialogue that I mentioned at the beginning, which makes it worse.
Oh God! Wow.
It's a real weird thing. I don't know why they decided to suddenly change that dialogue. It's very bad.
They can't get anything straight with this game. You know, it's like it has a very weird lineage of remakes and re-releases and different ports and emulate. It's very odd, you know.
Yep, it's very hard, very odd.
Yeah, it's hard to like find this game and play it like the way it was, you know, meant to be played or the best version of it. It's very difficult to do now.
Yeah,
they don't make it easy, which is weird. You know, I don't know why they don't. And this game also is not part of like the Castlevania collection that came out recently. That has like,
which is really weird.
Right,
Yeah.
right, because that collection is like a lot of the old classic Castlevania games, which I would.
Yeah,
you know,
you'd think. I feel like this game, or at least should have been, like an important part of the series, especially since it serves as an introduction to Symphony of the Night.
Definitely, and
Yeah.
the Castlevania Anniversary Collection has Bloodlines in it, which came out a year after this game. So I don't understand. Like, what is it? What? Why?
Yeah, it has blood. We did play Bloodlines already for the Game Club, and
Yeah.
that's on there. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 Bloodlines, and then 2 Game Boy games. I think Castlevania Adventures. I think 1 and 2.
Kid Dracula, I think.
And Kid Dracula, yeah, as well. So I mean, it's a good collection, but like, why was this not part of it? I mean, it would have been another way easier way to play this. Who knows what version of it they would have put on there? You know, probably the PSP emulation. Who knows though? Because they didn't put it on there, so we'll never know. So interesting way to play this game. Like we had to unlock it on the PSP version and play that emulation, which didn't run very well. We're not going to hold that against the game, of course, because you know it's not the game's fault. That the music would just randomly cut out, and I don't know if it was the emulator or what was going on. I think that was really my only big issue with it, was just the music randomly cutting out, and it wasn't. And the sound effects would keep going, so it was just it was very odd.
Very
it was just
strange.
very.
Which is
strange.
sad because the music was good, but
Yeah, I mean, Castlevania music, that's like almost half the reason you play the game.
yeah.
I mean, Castlevania has fantastic music. This game definitely is no exception. So, like we mentioned, Noah, you picked this game.
I did.
So I just want to ask you, so you can tell everybody else why you chose play.
Well, I was gonna choose another game, but that game got it added to the list literally a day before, so I quickly had to come up with one. But I was on a Metroidvania / Castlevania mode because I just had beaten Bloodstained and I wanted more Ritual of the Night. So I was like, okay, next Castlevania game, and I was like, I wanted to get around to playing Rondo of Blood because I have played Dracula X and I liked it, not as much as Castlevania 4, but I did like it. And everybody, like, everyone on the internet was just saying like Rondo of Blood was better. It was the original version. That's the actual introduction to Symphony of the Night. Blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, I have to get around to play this one. I've played almost every Castlevania game, and I haven't played this one, so I wanted to play it.
All right. Well, interesting that you chose this game because you were in a like a Metroidvania type mood. Because
it's not a Metroidvania game.
It's not a Metroidvania game, right? It's the last Castlevania game.
Well, it has like
kind of.
It has like hints, but yeah, it's the last classic Castlevania.
Yeah. Well, let's count Bloodlines, but like. Yeah, but like, you know, this was the lead up into that change of style for Castlevania. You know, it's a prequel to Symphony of the Night. And even Symphony of the Night starts with the final boss of this game. You know, like a little reenactment of it. So, you know, it's interesting that you did that because this is the one of the final classic style Castlevania games.
Also, like a lot like the gothic monster slaying kind of theme, so that helped.
Yeah. And of course, Bloodstained is very much an homage. I mean, it was made by the man himself.
It's literally Castlevania without actually Dracula. Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
And
pretty much.
It even has a fight that's literally you fight one of the Belmonts as like a secret boss, which is fucking awesome. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's more or less a Castlevania game anyway. So, so like we said, I mean this is more in the original style. It's a platform adventure game, as what Wikipedia calls it. So I mean I guess that's what we'll call it too. I can't really argue with that definition.
Yeah, pretty much action platformer.
Yeah, and it's level based. You go from left to right going through sometimes right to left, but you're going through these levels, sometimes mansions, and there's a lot of one of the cool things is there's different paths to go through each level, so multiple playthroughs can be a little bit different each time. They usually all lead to the same place, but there's a lot of different varying ways to go through the levels.
Yeah. There are like dungeons too, so like there are some characters that you can rescue throughout the game, like in certain levels, but you need like a key to get, and you can either get a key from usually candlesticks, from what I discovered.
It's the 4 maidens that were captured by Dracula.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't rescue any of them the first playthrough. I found the key the first time, but then I died. And then I didn't get the key when I did that, passed by that spot again, because I was being chased by the giant goat thing, the behemoth. Mm-hmm. And I got to the door and I didn't have the key, so I was like, well, whatever. And then I found doors, but I never found the keys. So.
Did you play it again?
I wanted to unlock Maria, but every time I tried to unlock her, the game would crash.
What? Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah, I didn't get to play as her either. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I literally open the door to her cell, the cutscene would play, I hear the sound, but no visuals, and it would not get past that.
Yeah, the emulation was a little messed up.
Yeah, you said the only problem was the music. That's a huge problem.
Yeah, I forgot. When I first started the game, it just completely crashed, too. When I first started, I pressed start on the title screen, it was just like a black screen. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I had to reboot it as well. It didn't happen to me again through my playthrough. Although I do have to mention, during the cutscenes with the voice acting and shit, it would just randomly cut out, and it would just be I couldn't hear anything. I was like, I don't know what they're saying anymore. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So even during the cutscenes, I had to rewatch the cutscenes on YouTube because I was like, I don't even know what they're fucking saying. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't hold that against the emulation, even though because that's, not the game's fault that emulation was so fucking terrible. It sucks though.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awful. I mean, Maria's a blast to play as.
I had to watch, I watched gameplay of people playing as her, and I was like, what the fuck? She looks so much more smooth and fun to play.
She is.
Because Richter, you do play as Richter Belmont in this game. Member of the Belmont clan, and the story's pretty simple too. He's trying to kill Dracula and trying to save his girlfriend. I think her name was Annette.
Yeah.
From Dracula. So he's just going through, and Richter, in very classic Castlevania style, is just controls very much like Simon, where it's just he has the same kind of walk, and he has the whip, and well, not Castlevania 4, Simon.
Yeah, I was about to say Simon in Castlevania 4 has way more control and everything.
Castlevania 1, Simon.
Yeah. Because Castlevania 4, I was just saying now, is a better game than this.
Yes,
no arguments here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So you he's a little stiff, he gets the multiple different alternate weapons, right? That you get throughout the game that help you in combat, but in terms of mobility, all he really has is a standard jump, and he has this backflip, and that backflip I've only found 2 uses for it throughout the whole game.
It's god awful.
Yeah,
I used it in the boss,
there was a boss that I was using.
Yeah. That was the only useful place for it, basically.
Yeah, it's not good, and you're very susceptible to getting hit a lot because you just don't have you're not very mobile, and I just feel a lot of the enemies can outmaneuver you very easily. They can.
Oh yeah,
move and
I've noticed even in the port or the half remake of this game on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
The enemy, the Axe Armor Knight, is way more harder to deal with in this game than he is in the other game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's you have to time, because he does the pattern where he throws an X overhead forward, straight forward. Mm-hmm. Then he goes to throw an X under, but he throws them like very fast one after the other. So if you don't take out that top axe, or if you don't take that top axe out once he throws it at you, or you jump over it or dodge it, it's coming back, and he's throwing another one underneath you. Yeah. So you're getting hit no matter what. If you don't
hit, he's gonna charge at you.
And then he's gonna charge at you. So if you don't take out those axes as he's throwing them, you're taking a lot of damage, and you're not gonna be able to get close to him at all.
Mm-hmm. It's very easy to die in this game.
Yes.
Yeah. It is. You're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And Richter exploding into blood.
Yeah.
It's random.
And speaking of
I'll
dying,
go over another rant when we get to the level section. When we talk about
I was
stages.
gonna say, speaking of dying a lot, there's of course bosses in this game, and some of the bosses I find myself dying to a lot, which was really annoying because if you run out of lives, then you have to start the whole fucking level over again.
Yeah, I mean, classic Castlevania, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it still sucks. I mean, and one time I had no lives left. I beat a boss with a sliver of health, and the fucking boss does like a kamikaze attack and kills me. I was like, are you kidding me? I had to start I beat the boss. I had to start the whole level over again.
I hate that so much. That's like the one thing that I really hate about this game is that their final attacks can actually kill you. It's like, why? It's so fucking cheap.
I was so mad.
I like it because it gives personality to the fucking bosses.
Yeah.
But it's I can definitely see where it's incredibly frustrating.
I like the animations too. I think they're awesome.
Yeah,
I just wish they didn't kill you.
Yeah, and also like the introduction to the bosses, like the werewolf and shit like that. Like when you enter the room, like they do a little like he doesn't just like pop out of existence and like I'm here, fight. It's like it does a little intros, like him like getting up or like jumping in from the background or something. Is really cool how they like introduce themselves.
I did like a majority of the bosses and how they looked, and even fighting them was usually pretty interesting. They were all very different.
Yeah,
I really liked the one where it was the woman floating around and there was a girl on the ground, and if you got caught by her, she would like kiss you and seal all your hearts, and you had to like collect them. And then after you killed like the floating like head thing, she turns into like this like succubus that's like ninja kicking you. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think that was in one of the alternate stages. Yeah,
I didn't get to fight that boss, but you told me about it. I got to fight like a weird headless knight kind of thing. He was a small floating head, but he also had like the body of an armor with a spear. I think that's the guy I fought.
Okay, I didn't fight that guy.
The cool thing about the alternate routes is that they're completely different. Like the structure of them are completely different enemies, completely different bosses. It's a lot of extra content there to go back to.
Yeah, I think that part of the game is really cool. And overall, I mean, even with Richter, still being very not tanky to control, but very limiting in his control. It still is a well-designed game, and still fun to, decent fun to play. A little frustrating because it is hard sometimes, but that's how classic Castlevania is. It's a lot of trial and error and getting to learn, enemies, attacks, and stuff like that. And a lot of these enemies are reused throughout the Castlevania series. Going forward too, like in Symphony of the Night.
Yeah,
like that fucking spear. Pink Knight, I hate him so much. The one that fucking blocks your attacks and like attacks you from above and shit.
Yeah,
I hate that guy. I hate him. He's my worst enemy in Castlevania games.
Wow. Mine is Medusa.
Dracula, step aside.
Medusa heads are my worst enemy. I hate them. I just hate it so much.
Yeah, I mean, the enemy design in this game is fantastic. I mean, there's a reason they reused them in Symphony of the Night and in other Metroidvania games after that.
Yeah, and good sprite work, too.
They're just so fucking awesome. Like, why change it? It's near perfection.
Yeah. They were using a lot of, like, all the Game Boy Advance ones, too. And DS
Not
games.
all of them, but some of them, yeah.
Not all of them, but there's a decent amount of them that have been reused multiple times throughout the series. Yeah. The skeletons with guns, I always thought was really funny. I don't know what it is, but a skeleton holding a rifle is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole pirate ship was so fucking cool. I think that was my favorite level.
Yeah, that was when the difficulty spike started happening.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that one. God, this is the most frustrating part of the game, I think, for me. There's a part where, and I don't think it was that level. I think it was a level right after. It's near the end of the game.
The bridge?
The fucking bridge.
Fuck that
shit.
Bridge.
That bridge was a pain in the ass.
It took me.
It's right after the boss gauntlet, guy. It's like. That was not a good design fucking level. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
Yeah,
well, it's
all
like
those bats.
because like in every other Castlevania game, you're facing regular bats and you can just run away from them. In this one, you cannot run away from them.
And they're fucking 3 times the goddamn size of the bats.
Yeah,
the giant
coming
bats
from behind you, and you just don't try to backflip over them because the fucking ground is crumbling from behind.
Yeah, you can't stop to fight them.
No,
you just have to jump and aim backwards and hit them. Like you just have to be like jumping but aiming backward the whole time. It's
even the ones
weird.
that are like in front of you though. You will encounter bats that are just hovering in the air, not even acting like normal bats. They're hovering in the air just to block you, but they're not like
and they're holding swords.
Level. They're holding swords too. Yeah, so you can't get too close to them either. So it's like. And they're not like standing in one spot in the air, like just there. They're going they're slightly going up and down. So it's really hard to time from you running away from a bat to getting up close enough, the right distance, so your rip just barely reaches it while the sword doesn't knock you back and kills you from in the pit that's crumbling under your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to time your jump with his random flying up and down, and all that to time it to hit him. To keep moving forward, and you don't have to hit him once. You have to hit him twice.
Yeah.
So you have to do that twice. It's so bullshit, and you get no sub weapons in the beginning of the level either.
Nope.
So if you don't make it past the first time round, because you have a sub weapon from your previous fight, you're gonna have like so much a hard time getting through that without a sub weapon.
I did.
All of us did.
It was so fucking hard.
Because you don't expect the first time you're going through the level. You're like, your bridge is collapsing. Oh, okay. Then the bat's chasing. Oh, okay. Then the fucking bat blocks you, die. You're like, oh, okay, that was bullshit. And then it happens again and again and again and again and again.
The bridge didn't give me that much trouble. It was the clock tower like right after it that was really fucking annoying because the harpy kept dodging everything I was throwing at it. Like
true, yeah. Before even. Yeah, I would throw like sub weapons, and before I would even get to like the harpy, I know it's below me. I throw a sub weapon, he just dodges it. Yeah.
Yeah, like she dodged. Like I think this happened to me like 5 times in a row. Like I would throw an axe, she would dodge it, and then swoop in to grab me, and she would always catch me.
Yep.
It's like impossible.
Yeah, that was frustrating. The first time I got to her, I was just like I dropped down, and then I had enough health where she just instantly killed me. I was like, I wasn't even prepared for this. You drop down the screen and she's like, whoop, and just kills you. It was like, okay, well, there we go.
The weird thing about the harpy is that she starts out with like a little dagger to throw at you, but then she has another projectile that like, why would you even have the dagger then? Like, I don't understand. Like, she can shoot like beams from her wings or whatever. It's weird.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh man, you absolutely hit the fucking the nail right on the head with that though. No, that was the most frustrating part of the game for me.
Yep.
Like even more
Honestly,
frustrating than the end.
It was like for me it was the boss fights with Death and with the Ghost of Shaft.
Death, really?
Yeah, Death was a pain in the ass. He just threw a shitload of fucking scythes.
Was kind of he was pretty hard. I mean, the boss gauntlet at the end of the game was pretty fucking hard for me.
Yeah, the boss gauntlet for me was like the toughest fight because I had to learn each fucking pattern at different lives, and I had to strategize which sub weapon to pick up to take out which boss was causing me the most issues.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would take a fucking axe to take care of the bat like fucking right away without like getting hit or anything, and then I would have to deal with the fucking Medusa and the mummy and the Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm. And the Shaft.
Yeah. Fucking, that was tough. That took a while, but there was 5 bosses in one, and it wasn't a level, so kind of was okay.
Yeah,
it was acceptable.
But thank God, it was its own like level, so you didn't have to.
If I had to go through a whole level fucking 50 times again, I would have fucking gotten really irritated.
Yeah.
But as Death, I don't know. I was just constantly moving, and the scythes weren't getting me. I beat him like on my first try.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, even the final boss is Dracula. I mean, spoiler alerts. Sorry, I can't believe a Castlevania game has Dracula as the final boss. He wasn't that hard to beat.
No.
At least I didn't.
Definitely a lot easier than fucking Dracula in Dracula X, the part.
I never
Yeah,
played
in that
Dracula.
game, you have to stand on like little platforms, right?
Yeah, there was like
Lots of little
pits,
holes.
instant
Yeah.
death pits everywhere.
Yeah.
That was the killer. So if you get hit, you're dead because of knockback.
Yeah.
So yeah. But this had the transformation of him turning into the giant beast. So you had like 2 phases, which was the exact fight you go through in Symphony of the Night, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was slightly more difficult, but
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
of course it's gonna
you
be.
You can't
yeah.
lose in
Yeah.
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I was gonna say Symphony of the Night is the opening of the game. If they made like a
Yeah.
last boss level difficulty as an opening of the
Yeah.
game, people would be like.
But it was cool. Like it felt very nostalgic. Like actually going through it again.
Yeah.
Like for the proper way how it does.
I mean, it didn't have the cool dialogue that Symphony of the Night has, which was a little bit.
Yeah, that's very strange. Like
I mean, storytelling
It's-
wasn't really that important.
yeah, I mean it's not.
by
but,
cool I mean cheesy, but you know what I mean.
yeah, but
I
it's
mean,
like
cool.
even Dracula's design was completely different. Like Dracula here's like young and like he kind of has the same attitude, but not as like more of a like I'm not really the bad guy. You're the one brought here, but he was like very calm, even though he was defeated and everything. Whereas like I liked Symphony of the Night Dracula way more in terms of looks and like his attitude and personality.
Yeah, I mean,
And the dialogue is fucking legendary to begin with. But yeah,
the cutscenes in this game are pure anime. Like, oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
every character is like it looks like it's fucking.
even the
taken from a
voice
90s
acting
anime.
is voice acting is like a '90s dub. It's like so.
Yeah, so it's a little bit shocking to see like the same characters later
Yeah,
on. You know?
I'm really glad they changed the dialogue.
Yeah, and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, with me trying to watch those cutscenes sucked, but I mean, I had to rewatch them on YouTube. And yeah, they were kind of cheesy. I think they had to redub, or they, you know, for the English release, didn't they do like an English dub for the first time for it? Or
For the cutscenes.
for the cutscenes, yeah, because I assume it.
They must have had to, right?
Right. So even then, it still sounds kind of cheesy, and it wasn't like that long ago when they did it, which is fun. They have like the opening is like in German.
Yeah.
'Cause at first,
I felt like that was done on purpose because it.
absolutely. Oh, it definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's hard. It's really a basic Castlevania game when you get down to it. It was good. I think it's better than the NES Castlevania games.
The NES ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like Dracula X more.
What?
Like
That,
than
I
this
feel like
one.
you are very alone on that.
Probably, but
I've
I
never
just
played Dracula X, but from what I read, you know, from other people, you know, other opinions, like the majority seem that, like Dracula X was just like not nearly as good, and they made it like extremely hard as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that was, I mean, the levels were a little bit more challenging in comparison to all the levels in this game, except for that fucking bridge level. That bridge level is the hardest thing in both games.
I don't
me.
understand how you had so much trouble with it. But...
It's so
I had a lot
frustrating.
of trouble with it too. I was getting really mad.
Like, even more so than the final boss in Dracula X. Dracula X, the last fight is the hardest thing in that game, and it's super frustrating, but at least it's the final boss, and it's like, it feels a little cheap, but it's nowhere near as frustrating as the fucking bridge.
Well, one of the really cool things introduced in this game is the item crash mechanic, where you get to do the super moves with all the sub weapons.
I
Which,
do like that. You're
which
right.
is like very, very stylish. Like, this is one of the things that this game really excels at. Is just it just oozes style, like from the design to the moves. You know, it's very cool, and like all the item crash mechanic moves, just really, really fucking cool.
Yeah, they're very, very helpful too.
Yeah.
Like, when
Like,
you're in a,
I love how each sub weapon has its own like move, and, like
Yeah.
yeah.
an
It's weird, though,
obvious
when you
extension of the regular move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you use the item crash for the axe, it's just, all you just hear is like, like fucking the sound goes to fucking batshit. I don't know if it's the emulation, but I just like it fucking made me jump the first time I used it.
Weird. What the fuck?
That had to be an emulation thing.
Yeah.
It's sad that you guys didn't get to play as Maria. I mean, she's so good. Like,
it sucks. I watched it. I watched it, and it was so cool. She like shoots birds out and shit, and I was like, oh, this is cool. She's like,
yeah, she could summon cats to like one of her sub weapon is throwing a cat. You know, it's a magical cat, so don't call.
And she has a double jump. Like, holy
yeah, she has an amazing double jump. Like, whereas Richter's backflip can only be activated if you press it like right as soon as you press the first jump. You have to press it right away. This jump you can press it at any point in your original jump.
Yeah. That is so much
more useful.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, she's super cool. Like, damn.
She has a slide too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has a slide.
Yeah, like all these things. Like even, I mean, Richter, they could at least given the motherfucker like a back.
Wait, she had the slide and Richter didn't?
Yeah.
Which is weird because Richter had the slide in the introduction of Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I mean,
and the fucking uppercut and everything.
Yeah.
It's like,
this is one of the weird things I think about this game. Like, this game is like the weakest that Richter ever is. Like, ever portrayed. Because in Symphony of the Night, he has that super awesome run. He has the whip uppercut. He has this charge attack. He has the double slide. He is so fucking good. Plus, he has the item crash mechanic. And then in Portrait of Ruin, when you beat that game, you get to unlock him. You can play as him and Maria as a team, because in that game you control two characters at once. Mm-hmm. And they like Richter only runs. He can't walk. He just runs all the time.
That's awesome.
And he has an awesome double jump. He has all his sub weapons all the time. Maria has all the weapons from this game. They're amazing in that game.
That's funny. This is his introduction, right? So I guess maybe it makes sense that he's at his weakest, but yeah,
it's super weird. Yeah.
It doesn't help in terms of making this game better in terms of gameplay. So, it definitely it is weird though. I mean, he's got better moveset in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
He can run in that game. He can double jump in that game. Can't do any of that in this game.
Well, I guess, this game and Symphony of the Night have 5 years between them, so maybe in those 5 years you learn how to run.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, like imagine if you played Symphony of the Night for the first time and you see Richter like that as introduced to you, you'd be like, holy shit, this guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, man, this must be disappointing for anybody who played Symphony of the Night or Portrait of Ruin. Like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But I also played Dracula X, so I had an idea of what he was like beforehand.
Yeah, I had played both of those games before this. Although I don't think I ever played through Portrait of Ruin as him.
I did not.
Yeah.
No,
he's awesome.
That's another Castlevania game I need to play through properly. I never beat it. I played it, but I never beat it.
Oh, so now since you played Bloodlines and this game, it'll have a lot more sense. It'll make a lot more sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
I beat Portrait of Ruin, but I never played it through to anymore. And I never played through Order of Ecclesia, I think was the other
Ecclesia.
Yeah, I never played through that game either.
Me neither.
I don't even have that game. I don't know why. Because the first 2DS games were very good.
Dawn of Sorrow.
Yeah.
And all the GBA games are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even played a single one of the GBA games either, which...
You're missing out.
I'm missing out. I played the fucking original Game Boy ones. Those were shit, but...
Yeah, they're not very good.
I have those on the Anniversary Collection thing. And I don't know if I'll ever play them.
Yeah. I own one of them, like a physical copy of one of them. It's pretty surprising.
The Game Boy ones?
Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, that's Castlevania. Is there anything, Castlevania Rondo of Blood, is there anything else, topics of this game that we didn't cover yet that you guys want to go over?
Yeah, one thing about the differences between Dracula X and this game. Like, in Dracula X, you still have to save Annette, but if you don't save her, she becomes one of the bosses you have to fight. Like, she gets turned into a vampire witch called Carmilla. She's pretty famous. But, yeah, so, I thought that was really cool, because in this game, like, saving the maidens doesn't really do much for you. Not counting Maria, of course. But,
Right.
Saving the other ones don't really do that much. Like, you get a little bit of a different ending, but, like, not that much changes. But it's really interesting that in Dracula X, some kind of plot changes because you didn't save her. And they recreate that in the PSP version of this game. Like, they take that element from Dracula X and they put it in here. And,
Oh, that's
the
interesting.
shittier version, but yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Even though,
It is cool. All right. We'll get into recommendations, and we'll start with Noah. And Noah, would you recommend everybody that is listening? Would you recommend them to play Castlevania Rondo of Blood?
Yeah, for sure. If you're interested in learning about Rick, the character, Richter Belmont, more, this is definitely, I feel like maybe not a must play, but you definitely get to know how the character came to be and the game he originated from is like. And they did that they did take in future Castlevania games like little bits from here and there to make like more sense for the character development than actual games. Because even though the split paths were a thing, they kind of just went full on Metroidvania after this. So, even though the split paths were kind of like already a thing in 3, so even that wasn't like fairly new.
yeah. Multiple characters, but
Yeah. But yeah, I still would recommend it if you can somehow get a hold of it with fucking PSP or one of the versions of it, the good ones.
Well, you could play the PS4, bro.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot
You can
about
play it
that.
on PS4, yeah. For $20, and if you haven't played Symphony of the Night, the $20 is worth that alone. So, there you go.
And if you had to come to a decision between playing this version or Dracula X, I would say play both.
Okay, I mean they are both
Because they're different enough.
games, Yeah. All right, Ills.
I would say yes. I think this is maybe like the second or third best classic Castlevania there is. Like, I'm kind of divided between this and Dracula 3. I think this is probably better than Dracula 3. Anyway, yeah, I'd say definitely yes. This game has a lot of fucking style. It's very cool. Maria's the fucking greatest. And that's it.
Okay. I would say yeah too. I mean, you're going to be in for a bit of a challenge. So if you don't like games that are hard at all, I guess maybe try to steer clear. I mean, guess you probably want to steer clear of Castlevania in general if you don't like a challenge at all. Some of the Metroidvania games are a little more forgiving because they have save points throughout, and the classic ones are a little bit harder.
And levels.
Yeah.
Like you gain levels like an RPG.
Yeah, so if you want to play Castlevania and you're not looking for a challenge or you don't like games being too hard, maybe go for a Metroidvania game. But if you just like a good challenge, a decent platforming game, I mean, I definitely can't say no. It's a very very solid game. So I overall definitely say yes. And with that being said, it's time to put Castlevania Rondo of Blood on the list!
The list!
The list!
You can follow along with us with the list and the Pastebin link that I'm going to put in the description below, where every week on the Game Club we take whatever game we played and we add it to this ongoing list, ranking from best to worst. So we have to figure out where it fits into there. Also, we add a game every single week on the regular episodes, the Jump Up Supercast as well. So there's a lot of games going onto the list, and a lot of discussions to be had. So we got to pair it up against all the games that are already here. And Noah, since you played the game, we're going to start with you. Or not play the game, but pick the game. We're going to start with you. And tell us where you're feeling, and then we'll go from there.
Well, it's weird because I kind of prefer Bloodlines to this game. So putting it above Bloodlines would feel very strange. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but
I do not agree.
I think it's better than Bloodlines. Yeah, I think it is better than Bloodlines overall.
Like a lot better, or a little bit better? Or?
Not like leaps better.
I think it offers a lot more than Bloodlines does. Like Bloodlines only has like 7 stages. This game has like 12.
If you include the ultimate pass, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's some replayability. There's some, you know, the extra character is very good. I know Bloodlines has 2 characters already, and they're both good. So, it looks better than Bloodlines.
Yeah.
I think the music is a stalemate there. I think they both have great music, and yeah, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I also think like this game is a lot more iconic than Bloodlines. Like,
true.
not like legacy, like presentation. Like the last boss fight with Dracula is taken a lot more seriously. It's presented a lot more, you know, epically. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
you're
I
also
guess so.
right in like just the. I mean, who talks about Bloodlines compared to people talking about Rondo of Blood? You know, it's like I think there's a reason why this game still has like a. You know, people talk about it. Obviously, there's the mystique around. Well, it was never released in America, type of thing. But I think it's people who have played it say, "Oh, well, it's a really good game." So, I don't. Bloodlines is weird. Like, I feel like I never hear anybody talk about that game. Not that not that it makes it a bad game because it's actually good, but like.
Well, it has the thing that it's also not like a Belmont game. It's kind of like a weird. It feels like a weird side story at the same time.
Yeah.
And like Dracula doesn't appear until like the end, like because the whole like at the beginning you think you're fighting like that Countess woman. I forgot her name, Elizabeth Bartlett or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was like a
and
different
also,
direction, yeah.
Yeah, and it also has like kind of strange levels, like the Leaning Tower and the.
Yeah, like they were.
I thought they were cool, but yeah.
Yeah, they were really cool. Alright, so we should put it around like 118, 19?
I was thinking above Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101.
Maybe above.
Where is that?
98. Maybe above Illusion of Gaia.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know if I'd put it above Einhinder. It's weird section here. Try to think about in comparison to this game.
Yeah, I mean the only thing about Einhander I would say is that the last level is banana sandwich. Like there's no directionality to it, so it really
that game
is weird.
Is very fucking hard as well.
Yeah, and it gives you some weird camera angles for almost no reason sometimes. Yeah, so that's my complaints about Einhander, really. I think this game's. I also think Einhander is very stylish, but I think this game looks better and plays better than Einhander.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it being or above or below Wonderful 101 either way. You
Above,
said
below?
You wanted it above Wonderful 101?
I wanted it above or below Illusion of Gaia.
Okay. I think I'd put it below Illusion of Gaia.
Okay, I mean,
Alright, let's go for that.
fair enough.
Yeah, given, yeah. I mean, between those two, I'm going to choose Illusion of Gaia is a bit better. All right, well, I guess that's where we put it here. And that would be at number 97 on the list. Surrounding it, at number 95 is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Number 96, Illusion of Gaia. Number 97, now Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Number 98, Mario Party 2. And number 99, The Wonderful 101. All we have to do is put 2 more games above The Wonderful 101 to get it to number 101. And then we can never put any more games above it ever again.
That's not gonna happen.
Why don't we just move Mario Party 2 to number 2?
We can do that.
You can't. Number 2 is taken by either Super Metroid or Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, you could just put Mario Party 2 at number 1. How about that?
Okay.
Next rework,
Good talk.
we'll do it. It's coming out in a couple months.
I look forward to hearing that discussion.
Yeah, I had to pull something out of my ass for that one. But that is it for this episode of the Jump Up Supercast Game Club. But before we go, I just want to say that if you did enjoy Jump Up Supercast Game Club, make sure you check us out. You can find us on your favorite podcast listening service of your choice. That includes SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Our new episode of the Game Club will go up every other Thursday, as well as new episodes of the Jump Up Supercast, which will go up every single Monday. So give us a follow, a like, or a share. Feel free to let us know what you thought about Castlevania Rondo of Blood if you played it. You can tell us down in the comments. Support us if you enjoy what we do. We have a Patreon. For just $1 a month, you get the chance to choose one of our Game Club games every go around. So we go, we take turns picking. It goes Noah, me, Ills, and then the Patreon pick for the Game Club. So it's about every 8 weeks we do one. So if you do want to choose a game, you can, like I said, do it for $1 a month, and you also get access to our Discord where you can talk to us about games and everything else. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to stay up to date on everything Jump Up Supercast related. And we even have a Twitch. From time to time, we'll be streaming there, twitch.tv/Jump Up Supercast. But before we go, it's my turn again, guys.
Yay.
And I'm excited about it. Because this time, I'm going to choose Ukulele and the Impossible Lair.
Oh, hey.
So, yeah, that's the sequel, not the original game. The sequel that just came out not too long ago. I think it came out last year. So it's a fairly new game. And heard good things about it. And so I want to play it. So that's what we're going to be playing. It is available on most platforms if you want to play along.
It was free on the Epic Game Store for a little while.
Oh, nice. Was it? Wow, that's cool.
Damn, should have grabbed it.
But for everybody who listened, if you want to play that game, that's what we're playing next. And I want to thank Ills and Noah for joining me playing video games. And even more importantly, I want to thank you guys for listening. Go out there, play some video games, and be nice.